Hey, what's ripening YouTube? Let's see, it's November, mid-November 2019, and I know I've been slacking a little bit with my YouTube videos lately, but I want to go ahead and give a quick update on my home garden. Um, this is a landscape that I've been working on. We bought the property in 2013. There were a couple of existing fruit trees, this sapodilla, the avocado there, and there's a mango in the backyard. Everything else was planted by me. If you've been following me for a while, you'll probably notice that I've actually reduced the landscaping here. We are preparing to sell this property because we're building a house at the farm. We won't need this anymore. So I've been trying to keep it more manageable and more maintainable and more attractive to a wider audience of buyers when we do sell the property. If you're interested, let me know. You'll get a nice property on a canal with an established collection of fruit trees, which I don't know what else would you be looking for if you're moving to Southwest Florida. So anyway, we're gonna walk through real quick and I'll show you what's growing on here. First of all, my famous Sapodilla tree. If you look, I don't know what you can see because I don't have a screen to look at, but there's always fruit on this tree. The Sapodilla is one that I recommend in my area. You just can't miss. This tree, believe it or not, I've made $800 on this tree this year selling the fruit. It's just killer return. If you want to talk about developing your plant folio, that's a pretty good one. This is a big avocado. I believe it to be choquette. It's pretty much done. Makes these big avocados. They're pretty good. They're not like, California Hass or Mexican Hass, but they're decent. They make a good guacamole. Nice big tree. I've been trying to prune it back every year because it wants to be massive. We are in November. We haven't really had any cold weather, so the mangoes are still growing. This is a carry that's still flushing out new growth. Papayas are still pumping out. This is a pond apple that I cut way back, and it grew back. So I think I'm actually going to dig this up and put it at my farm and graft something else onto it. Long Ann's doing really well. I've been pruning this. It still hasn't fruited yet, so I gave it a hard prune way early this year, and hopefully it'll be ready to put out some flowers for us for the new buyer, I guess. Cogshell mango putting out a little bit of new growth. Orange sherbet, lemon zest. I had a really good season last year. Really heavy crop on this tree. Super impressed. This is easily one of my favorite mangoes. Adamoya, this is Gefner Adamoya, another one that I recommend a lot. This type of Adamoya, the reason I recommend this one, first of all, it tastes amazing. Second of all, they do a way better job of pollinating themselves than some of the other Annonas. Sometimes you'll have issues where you have to hand pollinate. Malika mango, another one of my favorite. Really tricky getting these right. You have to ripen them properly. Otherwise you'll get a bad experience. And I know people that have ripped out trees because they thought they didn't like the mango. And I think it was just poorly ripened or poorly harvested. It could be either one. This is something I don't know exactly what's going on. But if you look up, I don't know if you can see that. If you look up there, this is the biggest rack of bananas I've had. Let's see, the sun's going to be in your face. I'll just point it up there. If you look, the top hand comes out right at the top. So the last rack of bananas off this was not even close to that big, and it was 60 pounds. So I'm thinking that's going to be 70 or 80 pounds. I'm leaving the grass shaggy this time of year. I do this every year. So this is a tip that I use. You come to the fall when it stops raining. I stop cutting the grass so short. I see a lot of people around here, they get their lawn maintained by who knows who, and they cut it low because it looks nice. But what happens is if you're not watering, it stops raining and it all dies. So I usually let it go a little higher and I cut it high, and I anticipate that winter season where it's dry. There's another mango, Angie. I had a loquat tree that I took out. Glen mango looking really good. This had a really nice crop last year. It's a really good, kind of a classic, very productive, can't miss mango. This is the mango tree that was already here when we bought the property. I've been trying to control this thing. It wants to be humongous. So I've pruned it back really hard. So this coming season, it probably won't be that productive, but it'll do better. It'll get better for the next year. Kent mango, really good. Back in the back, I've kind of minimized. I've actually pulled out a lot of the, there was a lot of landscape, not really landscape, but fruit trees that I was experimenting with for landscaping, and some of them did okay, some of them not so great, but I've actually removed them all and I've put them in places at the farm where they have a lot more room to grow. Here's one that I left. This is Grumichama. I really like Grumichama as a hedge plant, just because it has a little bit larger leaves than some of the other tropical cherry type plants, so it has a better look, and the new growth comes out with with red tips, kind of like the cocoa plum. But I think this fruit tastes a lot better than cocoa plum. The coconuts that I planted here, when we first got here, we bought 2 coconut palms, and the trunks were about here, and they've grown this much since we've been here, and now they're producing coconuts. Not a lot, actually. I just harvested some, so here's some of them. But we make our own coconut milk and coconut water and coconut cream and soon coconut oil. Here's a Rollinia tree that keeps on ticking, but it hasn't fruited. It's flowered a few times. I think the issue with this tree is that I don't irrigate it, so it just does not tolerate being left alone. It really wants to be watered and taken care of. And so when I plant these at my farm, I'm going to put them in an area where they're going to get a lot better care, because it's a really good fruit, really delicious fruit. This tree is called an Indian Jujube, and it's fruiting heavily right now. That's why you see it. I should have pruned it already, but it's fruiting, so I'm leaving it alone until it's done. Here's an early fruit that something got into, but if you look, there's just tons and tons of fruit on this. This is one of my favorite fall fruits here in Southwest Florida, because they taste like, when they're ripe, they'll get bigger than that. When they're ripe, they taste kind of like a Granny Smith apple. They're crisp, sweet. They're not sour like a Granny Smith, but it's that kind of texture and flavor. And they're really pretty robust tree. You can cut them way back. So what's going to happen after this fruits, I'm going to cut this tree way back, all the way back to that. All this is going to come off. All these branches are going to get shortened, probably to head height, and I'm going to let it reestablish its canopy for next year. And these trees can take that. So one only other thing to be concerned about with these is they do have spines. Most of them do. So if you're concerned about kids running around or something, this might not be the right tree for you, or you might need to put it where it's kind of out of the way. But it's a really excellent fall fruit tree. Here's some coconuts that we planted that were much smaller, but you can see this one's starting to produce pretty heavy now. It's got tons and tons and tons of little, these are the female flowers, and they develop into the coconuts. The male flowers look a little different. It's pretty easy to find which ones are what. Here we go. These are the male flowers. They come off the ends, and then the females are like this, and they actually have a little dew point right there that the pollen has to connect to get them to set a fruit. So you don't get all. See, that one just fell off. Not every one of them turns into a fruit, but see, these are females that aborted, and these are ones that made it. But I'm pretty excited to see how productive this coconut is right here. Here's a yellow one right next to it. Same variety of coconut, just a different color form. They come in different colors. I'm considering taking these 2 palms back to the farm just because I've already got them fruiting. It'll put me in a little bit of a head start. The other ones I've planted at the farm aren't going to fruit for another few years, so I haven't decided about that. This is a little native section. I can't remember what this is. I think it's called Christmas berry. It's like a native goji berry. It hasn't fruited for me yet. Got some pond apple in here that I've ignored. Here's another one of those. Oh, I hadn't noticed this is actually flowering, so this might actually fruit. Whoever buys this house is going to get kind of a cool, here we go. That might be a little fruit right there. Someone's going to get someone's gonna get some cool rare fruit. That's pretty sweet. So anyway, if you're interested in this house, this is black sapote chocolate pudding fruit. If you're interested in this house, it's in Punta Gorda, Florida. It's in a non-deed restricted neighborhood on a canal, which is a pretty awesome combination. There's a lot of neighborhoods around here where you're very restricted in what you can and cannot do. Not here, so you get to do what you want. Bananas growing everywhere. Let me just show you the canal so you can see. So this house is kind of unique because the canal actually wraps around two sides of the property, because I'm at the end of the road. So here's part of the canal. I don't know how much you can see there. That's the side yard. So there's the road coming in, the driveway to my house. Side yard, and then the backyard. Take you back there real quick, just so you can see what I'm talking about. And this, I've left a lot of the mangroves and stuff up because I like the wind protection for my fruit trees. See all the water down there? You could easily thin this out and have a better view if that's what you're interested in. But this water is a really nice buffer for tropical fruit species. So it keeps the temperature moderated, and it's just a really nice spot. I like the neighborhood. It's quiet here, being at the end of the road. So again, if you're interested in this house, it's going to be up for sale probably, hopefully February this coming year. And I hope somebody that enjoys fruit takes the house. I hope it doesn't go to someone that just cleans it out and cuts everything down, because that would be a real bummer for me. I can live with it, but I'd like to see somebody enjoy it. So if you know somebody that's interested, give me a shout. You can find me at whatsripening.com. You can email me, or you can check out my new business is Peace River Organics. I've got a Facebook, Instagram, website, peaceriverorganics.com. You can get in touch with me if you have questions about this property, or if you're in my area and you're interested in consultation or anything like that, just let me know. So this is a kind of an overview catch up on my front yard forest garden. I probably skipped over a lot of things. If you're interested in something that you saw that I didn't mention, post a comment down below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.